A lot of people are amazed, especially when I wear this and I go out and they know that this is from plantain. By the time you say plantain or banana, how? Things that are often considered waste is what we are using to create jobs.
Hey, Breakdown family. Let me hit you with a fact that might blow your mind. The global hair industry is worth over $100 billion. And guess who's fueling it? Black women all over the world. Across Africa, across the diaspora, we're the number one consumers of weaves, wigs, extensions, braids, and everything in between. But here's the catch. Despite our spending power, we own almost none of the supply chain. The hair, mostly manufactured in China, India, and Brazil, packaged there, branded there, and then sold right back to us for profit. But what if I told you someone is flipping the script right now in a powerful way from a small workshop in Nigeria, using nothing but creativity, innovation, and plantain stems? Yes, you heard that right. Plantain stems. I recently watched a video that just left me floored. Not just because what this woman is doing is one of the most innovative things I've seen in a long time, but because it is exactly the kind of story I believe will shape Africa's future. A woman in Nigeria, Tare Robinson, has figured out how to turn plantain and banana stems into hair extensions. Yes, Sid said goodbye to horsehair from China and hello to sustainable African beauty, locally made from waste to wealth. But it doesn't stop there. She's also using these natural fibers to make bags, shoes, furniture, and more. She's literally building an entire eco-enterprise from what most people throw away. I was flabbergasted, literally jaw on the floor watching this video of her in action and listening to her vision. Because this is what innovation looks like. The kind that turns waste into wealth. The kind that builds industries, jobs, and ownership. The kind of thinking that turned China from poverty to global superpower. Singapore from fishing village to financial hub. And it can do the same for Africa if we support it, if we build it. Because yes, we need better governance, better policy, better leadership, but we also need bold private sector innovation that reimagines what's possible on this continent. So in today's episode, I want to introduce you to this incredible woman and what she's building. And I want us to have a bigger conversation. What does it really mean to support homegrown innovation in Africa? How do we shift from always waiting on government to realizing that the private sector and we, the people, have power too? Because here's the truth. There are many more Tares out there, visionaries, inventors, creators, you watching. And all they need is visibility, investment, and belief. Because trust me, if we don't invest in people like Tare right now, someone else will. And they'll be the ones on Forbes while we're still importing bundles. And that's why I also want to shout out the filmmaker who brought her story to light, Chidera Inrafo. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. Link is in the description. So if you're ready to be inspired, challenged, and reminded of the genius brewing across this continent, stick with me. Because this is the story we need to be telling. And please help me bring Tare's story to the world by sharing it with as many people as you can. Your group chats, your socials, whatever else you use. So we can come together to get Tare the support she needs to take this transformative vision to the next level. Now, before we dive in, a big welcome to all our new subscribers and members. We're so thrilled you're here. And For our members, I have a special bonus segment for you where we dive into the economics, history, and power behind hair, and why Tare's innovation could be the start of something much bigger for Africa and you. And if you're watching and haven't joined us yet, please consider this your invitation. We would love for you to be a part of our growing family here at Planet Genius TV, where we bring you global Black stories told with truth, with care and intention, and where we mobilize from talk to real action and power. And speaking of power, I just want to remind you that I will be bringing you coverage from the 2025 NABA convention in Las Vegas, happening June 2nd through the 6th. Now, if you don't know about NABA, it is the largest gathering of Black professionals in the United States and yes, in the world. We're talking about CEOs, executives of Fortune 500 companies, investors, accountants, scientists, engineers, technologists, the exact kind of brilliant minds we need to help people like Tare scale. Nearly 5,000 of them will be coming together for a week of learning, networking, empowerment, a celebration of Black excellence and brilliance. And yes, I'm so excited to be bringing you exclusive coverage straight from the conference. Now, if you're interested in attending, just head over to nabainc.org to register and be a part of the action. All right, now let's get into it.
So this particular video, I want to meet up with this amazing lady that is making hairs like attachment from plantain stems. And this is, I was really curious when I heard about this. So I came to meet her, and I want her first of all to introduce herself to us and tell us more about how she started and all of that. So without wasting much time, you guys know I don't like to talk too much. I'll let her do the introduction herself. So ma, please, what's your name? And if possible, the name of your brand.
Okay, my name is Tare Robinson,
Okay.
Korumene. And well, as a company, it's EcoFit Nigeria Limited. But for the hair, it's Dunali Hair. That's the brand name, yes, for the hair.
So just drive us through what you guys do here.
For now, we are making hair extensions
Okay.
from plantain and banana pseudo stem. The waste, when you cut plantain and the waste that comes out, mostly when the farmer collects his fruit, the tree, we call it, to simplify it, is the pseudo stem or trunk, but simple terms, it's called the tree. So they just cut the fruit and then cut the tree, scatter it in the farm, and it rots away like that.
Yeah.
So that waste, that tree that is a waste, that's where we extract out the fiber. There's a fiber in it. So we extract out the fiber and then go through a process of softening it. And then after the softening, we also dye it to different colors.
Wow.
Wow, indeed. Wow, indeed. First of all, let me just say I love the name Dunali Hair. Yes, it's catchy, it's clean, and honestly, it's a brand I could see stocked on beauty shelves from Lagos to Brooklyn to Atlanta. It already sounds global. But let's unpack what Tare just explained, because it's low-key genius. So when you grow plantains or bananas, after harvesting the fruit, there's this thick, spongy stem that's left behind. You've probably seen it before if you've spent time in a rural area or on a farm. That leftover part, most people just chop it down and leave it to rot in the field. But what Tare has figured out is that inside that so-called waste is fiber, natural, strong, lightweight fiber. And with the right process, she can extract it, soften it, dye it, and transform it into something brand new. Hair extensions. And here's why that's so important. Because we spend billions of dollars a year importing synthetic hair, often made from petroleum-based plastic or processing animal hair from countries like China or India. But here we have a renewable, eco-friendly, and homegrown alternative straight from the motherland. And this isn't just about hair. It's about rethinking what we call waste. It's about recognizing the power of indigenous innovation. And it's about building an economy that's circular, sustainable, and proudly African. Shout out to Tare and shout out to Dunali Hair. This is how we reclaim the narrative. Let's keep going.
How did you get to know about this?
Well, first, as a child, when we are growing up, you see it in most communities, especially girl child, use that plantain stick to make dolls. So that's where I started. But I never knew I can do something more out of it. So during the COVID, I was doing a lot of research on plant-based materials, and I saw a video in Uganda where they were using this to, in fact, it was even sisal plants that I saw that they use in making hair extension. And I was like, how? Then the next thing I saw the plantain on too. So my first step was how to extract it out. So I just called some friends and we went to the farm and then cut the trunk. We came back and we started extracting it. When we extracted out the fiber, it was strong, hard, so to speak.
Yeah.
And so everybody was like, no, this one will not be good for hair. I said, okay, we have to work on softening it. We started with chemicals. But at the end of the day, I said, no, I want to do something unique. Because even when I listened to others who have done it in other countries, they were going through chemical processes.
Yeah.
I said, no, I want to do something different. So I started working on the softening process with plant-based materials. And until we got to where we are. So everything we do here is more of organic. Yes, organic. No chemical at all.
Wow. Now that right there is what I call full circle brilliance. Did you catch that? Tare's journey started with something so many African girls can relate to. Making dolls out of plantain stems as a child. Let's be real. For most of us, it wasn't because we had options. It was because we didn't have dolls to begin with. So what did we do? We went outside, picked up sticks, leaves, rags, whatever we could find, and used our own creativity to build our own. Because you know what they say, necessity is the mother of invention. We weren't just playing though. We were inventing. We were designing. We were repurposing. We turned scarcity into joy. We turned nothing into something. And we made it fun. That was part of growing up. And it shaped the way we see the world. And in Tare's case, that same childhood game planted the seed for world-changing innovation. Look at how she turned that childhood memory into an actual enterprise. That's vision. Then came the pandemic, when most of the world was stuck indoors baking banana bread. Sis was in full research mode, learning everything she could about plant-based materials. And what sparked it? A video out of Uganda. That right there is Pan-African inspiration in action, y'all. Ideas moving across borders, igniting something new. I just love this. But let's talk about what happened next. She didn't just see an idea and copy it. She adapted it. She grabbed her friends, went to the farm, chopped down some plantain trunks, and started experimenting. That first fiber, it was too stiff, too rough. Most people would have stopped right there, but not Tare. Instead, she asked a better question. How do I soften this without chemicals? And that's where her true genius comes in. Because unlike other places using harsh industrial processes, she said, no, I want to do something unique. I want to do it differently. And now she's developed an organic, plant-based softening method, completely chemical-free. Think about what that means. It's safer for us, it's better for the environment, and it taps into Africa's indigenous knowledge systems, not just borrowed science. Tare didn't just create a product. She created a process, one that could be scaled, replicated, and owned by Africans. And that process alone is something that needs to be patented before Western scientists get to learn and claim it as their own invention. This is the type of innovation that gives me hope because it's rooted in our everyday realities, but it's looking forward towards sustainability, health, and economic empowerment. Now imagine if she had the funding, labs, and backing she needed from day one. This wouldn't just be a side story. It would be national policy. And that's the conversation we need to have.
This is the same hair you're putting on.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Here in this your company, because I'll call it a mini company.
Mini factory.
How long have you been into this? Since 2023, that's 2020, right?
Yes,
Like
but in between, we braked because of the flood.
Okay.
We were in fact planning an exhibition before the 2022 flood came. So everything was destroyed, kind of. So we had to just slow down until the last year we started the thing.
Now pause. Did you hear that? This is the same hair, the beautiful organic handcrafted extensions that's being produced right here in what Tare humbly calls a mini company. A small space, limited tools, but a big vision. And she's been doing this since 2020. But like so many entrepreneurs across Africa, her journey hasn't been smooth. In 2022, just as they were preparing for an exhibition to showcase their work, the floods came and wiped out everything. Let that sink in. When we talk about the obstacles African entrepreneurs face, it's not just access to capital or visibility. Sometimes it's the literal weather, floods, infrastructure failures, natural disasters, all made worse by climate change and all hitting the people who can least afford it. But what did she do? She didn't quit. She regrouped. She started again last year with whatever she had left. That's resilience. That's power. That's the spirit we talk about when we say African innovation isn't just about ideas. It's about survival and reinvention. Tare's story is a reminder that brilliance isn't always loud or funded. Sometimes it's quiet, local, and deeply rooted in determination. And imagine what she and others like her could do with just a fraction of the support we give to imported brands, foreign tech startups, or celebrity ventures. This is why we tell these stories, because behind every mini company is a massive dream waiting to be recognized.
The type they wear.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the one you're putting on.
Yes.
Wow.
And then braid it and send it back to us. Because for now I can't employ braiders.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite expensive for me to have them, but eventually we'll get to that.
Oof. My people, now this part really got me. It hit me. Tare just explained that after producing the raw fiber and preparing the material, she has to send it out to other people, braiders who style and return it as finished closures and attachments. Why? Because right now she can afford to hire her own team of braiders. Let that sit with you for a second. She's figured out how to extract fiber from weights. She's built a natural softening and dyeing process. She's created a product that's eco-friendly, Black woman made, and market ready. But she still can't scale. Not because the idea isn't brilliant, not because the product doesn't work, but because she doesn't have the funding. And let me share something with you that might make this sting even more. Here in the US, government spends billions every year funding innovation in this country, specifically to find and support people like Tare, but here, entrepreneurs, inventors, dreamers, because they understand one thing clearly. Innovation is national strategy. When you invest in ideas, you invest in power, you invest in jobs, you invest in global influence. Tare created the kind of invention that governments around the world pay to develop. Yet here she is, in a quiet corner of Nigeria, doing it all on her own. And this right here, This is the chokehold that strangles too many African dreams. It's not a shortage of brilliance. It's not a lack of innovation. It's the lack of investment, the inability to move from prototype to production. But here's what struck me most. Tare didn't speak with frustration. She didn't sound bitter. She didn't even express the expectation that government should show up for her. And that's both sad and incredibly powerful, because what she did say with quiet conviction was, eventually, we'll get to that. Translation, nothing is going to stop me. That is the mindset. That's the spirit. And it's exactly why we have to show up so she doesn't have to keep carrying it all alone. Because she's not waiting for perfect conditions. She's building with what she has. Collaborating, delegating, sending the material out so the dream can still move forward. But imagine this. What if she did have the capital to employ local braiders, especially young women in her community? What if Dunali hair became a source of employment and skill building across Nigeria? That's what's at stake. And that's why these stories matter, not just to be inspired, but to ask, how can we help people like Tare scale? Because the foundation is already there. Now it's about building the rest.
So like, how many days does it take you guys from this process till when you get to like final that particular one we saw there? Like, how many days is the whole process?
Oh, for that one,
Yes.
no, that one can be done in a day. A day, that's what I'm saying, that the best we can do with those ones is 2 packs like that.
So you get to the final process in a day?
Yes, of course. We bring out the trunks and then they extract them. Then we bring it to comb, and the next thing we take it back to softening and dyeing. So a day, yes, we can make 2 packs.
Wow.
Yes. But it's this weaving ones that takes time.
Okay.
Yes.
Now hold on for a second. Did you hear that? From harvesting the plantain trunk to extracting, softening, and dyeing, Tare and her team can produce 2 packs of this natural hair in a single day. That's not just innovation, that's efficiency. And let's be clear, this is not some massive factory with imported machines and multi-million-dollar backing. This is a small-scale, hands-on, resourceful operation run by people using what they have to create what they need. It's given local, it's given sustainable, it's given we move regardless. But then comes the kicker.
So have a lot of people started using this particular attachment to make their hairs?
I can't say much.
Okay.
Because presently, the calls we get are more of foreigners. Yes,
Oh.
in the developed world, they appreciate natural things than
Exactly.
us over here. Yes, so I've been receiving calls from outside, those who want to buy, and not some even want to be distributors.
Oof. That part hurts because it's true. Why are foreigners the ones calling her? When we Africans and Black people use hair extensions the most. The West is out here searching for clean beauty, sustainable hair, eco alternatives to package, brand, and sell to us because they know we'll buy it. They're the ones placing the orders. Meanwhile, we, the very people this product is designed for, are still out here prioritizing imported, synthetic, chemically processed hair, often with no clue where it came from or what it contains and its impact on our health. Let me be blunt. How is it that the global North can see the value in Tare's work before her own people do? How is it that something so natural, safe, and homegrown is still fighting for attention on the continent it came from? This isn't just about hair. It's about how colonization of taste still lingers. It's about who we think is quality and who we think is local. But here's the thing. That's starting to shift. And with platforms like this and communities like ours, we can help reshape that narrative. Because Dunali hair isn't just a product. It's a symbol of what's possible when we believe in our own. Let me keep it all the way real. We can't afford to let another African innovation be validated abroad before it's embraced at home. No. We need to not only be customers of Dunali hair, we need to be distributors, investors, marketers, partners. We need to own this brand and help take it to the next level. Because trust and believe, if we don't step up, someone in China will. Someone in the US will. Someone in the UK will. And in 5 to 10 years, it'll be that someone else grinning on the Forbes billionaires list. Let's not repeat history. Let's rewrite it. It's time to put our money, our voices, and our platforms behind the innovators who are already building the Africa we talk about.
Yes, but we are like taking our time because for now, like I told you earlier, we have challenges of machines. There's a way people begin to place orders and will not be able to meet up.
Yeah.
So we have not started receiving orders, so to speak. We are still experimenting. Let me say we are still experimenting, but then we have gotten to the point that we know this is the product. Because the product itself is something in between natural hair and then the synthetic. It's a product on its own. Yes, plantain fiber extension is a different thing. So the texture is not the same as human hair texture.
Yeah.
It cannot be the same. So people need to know that.
Okay.
Yes, because sometimes some people will just touch it and say, this thing is different. I say, yes, it's different. It can't be the same. But the beauty of it is that it's reusable.
Okay.
Yes, it's reusable. You can use, in fact, the more you use it, the more it becomes even more beautiful and lighter.
Really?
Yes, lighter. If I use synthetic, maybe like 450 grams, it will be very heavy on me. But not this product, very light. I don't like things touching me, even my natural hair.
Okay.
But this one, I'm very comfortable with it.
Okay.
Very, very, yes. And it's also itch-free, it doesn't itch. We have worked on it, it doesn't itch.
Now, this part right here, we need to break it all the way down because Tara is saying something so important. And if you're not listening carefully, you might miss it. She's not just making hair extensions. She's in the middle of something much, much bigger. Product development. Let me walk you through the process. It always starts with an idea, a spark, a what if. Then comes the prototype. That's where you take the concept and try to turn it into something real, right? It's raw, it's messy. It takes trial and error. And then you reach the most critical phase, product market fit. That's where Tara is now. She's figured out how to create the fiber. She knows it works. It's light, reusable, itch-free, comfortable, and uniquely African. It's not human hair. It's not synthetic hair. She says it's something in between. A brand new category. She's created a brand new category there. But before she can start scaling, before she starts taking orders or distributing at full speed, she needs to be sure she can meet demand. And right now, she can't. Not without machines, capital, and infrastructure. And that, my people, is where most African innovations die. Not because the product isn't good, but because the leap from prototype to production requires serious investment. And very few people are willing to fund at that stage. This is the valley where ideas either level up or get left behind. And what Tare is doing, testing, tweaking, improving, is exactly what companies like Apple, Tesla, L'Oreal, even Fenty had to do. The difference? They had funding, millions of dollars, incubators, accelerators, teams. Tare, she's got her vision and a handful of tools. But listen to how she talks about her product. Not just what it is, but what it feels like.
In fact, the more you use it, the more it becomes even more beautiful and lighter.
Really?
Yes, lighter. If I use synthetic, maybe like 450 grams, it will be very heavy on me. But not this product, very light. I don't like things touching me, even my natural hair.
Okay.
But this one, I'm very comfortable with it.
Okay.
Very, very, yes. And it's also itch-free. It doesn't itch. You have worked on it, it doesn't itch.
That right there is what we call user experience insight. Sis is doing market research and product testing all in real time. So here's what I want my entrepreneurs, investors, and supporters watching this to understand. This is the moment to support. Not after she's on the shelves in Target or on the Forbes list. She's building the system that will take this from a backyard operation to a global brand. In the startup world, this is what we call the pre-seed stage, right? The stage where you're not just investing in profit, you're investing in possibility. This is where friends, family, and early believers write small checks to help an idea find its footing, to help it reach product market fit. And yes, this is also the stage where people who invested a little early go on to see a lot later because the product, it's already there. It works. The vision is crystal clear. What's missing is the bridge. And maybe, just maybe, you could be part of that bridge.
I can't believe that this is the waste. This is plantain waste. Like, and it's now hair. That's all.
Now we have another waste from this. As they are combing, you can see waste coming out.
Yeah.
That waste itself, we are using it to make pillow.
Pillow.
Can you bring that pillow? Let him
Right.
see. Yes. We are still working on that.
So like nothing goes to waste.
Nothing is wasted here. Nothing. Nothing. The waste that we are pouring there, you can see mushroom is growing there. You can go and see mushroom, all the places that we have poured the waste. Not this dry waste, but the liquid waste that we pour there. Mushroom is coming out. That's a pillow. Is this waste that is inside here?
Okay, so the waste from here.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
So we're still working on it.
And it's going to be really soft.
Of course, we will work on it and it will be softer. We just experimented it and we know it's workable. So we'll still work on it.
So that nothing is going to...
Nothing.
Okay.
Now, I love the filmmaker here, Chidera. You could tell he is really just as perplexed as we are all watching this. But let's just take this in for a second, right? Tare is not only turning plantain and banana stems into hair extensions, she's now taking the waste from that process, the bits left behind after combing, and using that to make pillows. Pillows, as in sleep on it pillows. But she doesn't stop there. Even the liquid waste, yes, the runoff from the processing, they've discovered that when they pour it back into the soil, mushrooms start growing. Whew. Let me say that again. Hair becomes pillows. Waste grows mushrooms. Nothing is wasted. This, my people, is what we call a circular economy. It's not just make, use, throw away. It's use, reuse, repurpose, regenerate, reuse. This is a model where every stage creates value and is being pioneered not in Silicon Valley, but in a small workshop in Nigeria by a woman all alone, all by herself, without any institutional funding, without any investment. My goodness. And this is what I want us to recognize. Innovation isn't always loud. It's not always tech heavy or venture backed. It's not always robots, right? Or AI and machine learning. Sometimes it's this: a woman quietly reimagining waste, turning throwaway byproducts into sustainable goods. That's not just smart. That's revolutionary. Because here's the truth. Africa doesn't just need factories. We need closed loop systems solutions that don't harm our land, that regenerate our soil, that add value without adding pollution. What Tare is doing isn't just business, it's climate leadership, it's agro innovation, it's economic transformation at the micro scale. And if we're smart, we'll scale it. So the next time someone tells you Africa is behind, just show them a plantain stem and then show them a wig a pillow, and a patch of mushrooms, and the woman behind it all. Now here, Tare actually shows us the process behind it all.
We can say the whole process starts with the trunks.
Yeah.
Yes, we gather the trunks from the farm. Yes, for now, we have not started buying trunks because, like I said, we are like still on experimental stage. Yes.
Okay, these are the trunks.
Yes. We get them from the farms. We are not buying, they are just giving them to us. Yes.
They're giving them to you.
Yes, for now. We have not started selling, so we still tell them to give us like that. Of course, eventually when we start making sales, we will at least be giving them something so that the farmer can also benefit. That's why I say it's a game changer.
Yeah.
So even the farmer who will plant this should benefit from it when we start making sales.
Should benefit from the waste.
Yes, from the waste. Thank you. Yes, from their farm. Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes, Tara, you're right. This is a game changer. This part gave me chills. Tara just said something that many might overlook, but I want to zoom in on. She's building a business off of something the world calls waste. Plantain and banana trunks, the parts farmers usually cut down and leave to rot. That's the raw material for Denali hair. And right now, the farmers are literally giving it away for free because in their eyes, it has no value. But Tare, she sees gold in the garbage. She sees value where others see disposal. And here's what moved me most. She said, eventually, when we start making sales, we'll give something back to the farmers. They should benefit too. That right there is what inclusive innovation looks like, my people. Because in Africa, we're not just in need of products, right? We're in need of ecosystems. You've talked about some of them here on the breakdown. Of models where everyone along the value chain, from farmer to founder, benefits. This is how you build an economy that works for everyone, not just by creating a brand, but by creating shared value. And let's really think about this. What happens when farmers realize the waste they've been discarding is now a commodity? They start seeing themselves not just as food producers, but as raw material suppliers, as stakeholders in a new kind of economy. This isn't just a game changer for Tare, it's a game changer for rural communities, for agricultural economics, for the idea that innovation must always start in a lab or a city. Because this innovation is started in a farm field and is turning waste into wealth, not just for one woman, but for everyone connected to the soil that grew it. That's powerful.
So, don't you think there will be a time where getting this is going to be hard?
I trust Nigerians. As we start this, I know that some other persons are planning. So by the time many people begin to get this, that's why we also have the intention of having our own plantain banana farm.
Okay.
Yes. So that by the time others have started working on it, we'll go to our own farms. But anyhow it is, especially in the Niger Delta, there is no village you go to that you won't see plantain or banana.
Exactly.
Yes, so there is a lot in it. Yes.
Whew, wow. This woman is truly a visionary. Chidera asks a good question, a great question. What happens when everyone starts trying to get in on this? Won't the raw material become scarce? And what does Tara say? That's why we plan to start our own plantain and banana farms. Wow, that tells me she's not only an innovator, she's a strategist. This is a company you invest in and then beg her to remain CEO forever. What she's talking about is vertical integration. That's understanding your supply chain and taking control of it before scarcity hits. Because here's the truth. In Africa, we've seen this play out over and over again. Someone develops something new, it catches fire. Suddenly, everyone's scrambling for the raw material. Prices spike, quality drops, production stalls. And the pioneers end up pushed out of the very industry that they started. But Tare, She's planning ahead because she knows success attracts competition. And if you're not ready, the market will eat you. But what I really love is what she said next. Especially in the Niger Delta, there's no village you go to where you won't find plantain or banana. That's not just supply, that's abundance. And it tells me that this isn't a niche idea. This is scalable, replicable, and deeply rooted in what Africa already has. So let's be clear. This is not just a feel-good story about innovation. This is a masterclass, literally, a masterclass in African entrepreneurship done right. She's not waiting to react. She's building the future with foresight. And the lesson for all of us here, don't just create the product, own the process, control the supply, protect the vision at all cost. That's how we move from hustle to industry, from invention to legacy.
So what do you do in this particular section here?
So here, when we bring the trunks, we slice them to smaller sizes. After the slicing, we now take it to the machine. That is a fabricating machine. We put it there and they bring it out. It's extracted. Yes, to this.
Yeah, I think I saw some of them.
You saw some of them, yes. Yes, and then we take it there for the combing. So when they comb it, then we still bring it back here for the softening process. Yes, and dyeing.
And the drying?
Dye.
Okay,
to
dyeing.
Different colors, yes.
Okay, so you can dye them to different colors?
Yes, we can get about 7 colors now. Yes, and even most of the colors we are still using natural from plants.
I can see a lot of people are working for you here. How many people have you employed? And I noticed they are mostly girls. How many people have you employed?
We are 22 in number, including
22?
myself, yes.
Really?
Yes. It's a lot of work. There's a lot to be done here. Even with the 22, you can see everybody's busy.
Everybody's busy.
Yes, there's a lot to be done. But the 22 is because we are talking about payment and all that. We have not even penetrated into the market. We have not started making sales, so to speak. So I can't have more than that. That's why we are even limiting it to that 22. But if not, if we get the kind of machines we want, we will go far more than that 22.
Okay, so there are some machines you haven't gotten yet.
At all, sir.
Really?
Yes.
So like how many machines do you need to make the whole process easier for you?
For now, the major one that we want is a combing machine.
Okay.
Yes, because we have an extractor now. Even that extracting machine is not enough. One, you can get maybe about maybe 5-10 kg a day. So if you go to India and some other countries, that extractor, you have like 10-15 in a factory. So even that one is not enough at all. But with that, we still have the old one that we had, so we will work on that. So maybe in a couple of months time, we'll have 2 extractors. But with that combing machine now, presently you can see they are doing manual combing. So it takes time. The best we can get from this is just 2 packs a day. Yes, but with that combing machine now, once we extract and then the machine combs it out, it becomes faster. With that combed product now, we go for the softening, dyeing, and then we bring it back for the finishing. This is the final finishing. We use electric combs to do that combing. So with that kind of machine, we should be talking about maybe 20-30 packs a day. Yes.
That will be a lot of production and more money is going to be coming.
Of course, yes. And then the price can even come down. Yes, if we increase production, of course, price can come down.
Simply fascinating. This woman needs to be teaching a university level course on homegrown entrepreneurship and innovation. Trust me. But let's dissect what she's saying here, because this is one of the most powerful segments in the entire video. Tare just said she's already employing 22 people, mostly women, mostly young people. And here's the kicker. She hasn't even entered the market yet. Let that sink in. This woman is still in the pre-launch phase, still experimenting, still perfecting her product. And already she's creating jobs in a country where youth unemployment is a crisis. This is what real development looks like. And it gets even deeper. She explains that the only reason she's limiting it to 22 people is because she's not making enough sales yet to pay more. The demand for labor is there. The work is there. What's missing? Machines. Let's talk about that. Right now, her team is manually combing fibers to produce just 2 packs a day. But with the proper combing machine, that output could jump to 20 or even 30 packs daily. That's a 15 times increase in production. More products, more income, lower prices, more jobs. This is what economists call a scaling constraint, when the potential is there, but the tools to unlock it are not. And let me just say this. If a business like this, rooted in sustainability, powered by women, creating local jobs from farm waste, solving a real problem for Black women all over the world, can't get the equipment he needs to scale, then what exactly are we funding? And my people, who are we as a nation, as a continent? This is not only sad and frustrating, it's embarrassing. Because this is precisely the kind of enterprise that should be getting grants, machines, training, government support, everything. This is how you reduce unemployment. This is how you empower women. This is how you rebuild industry from the ground up. So again, if you're watching this and you've ever asked, what can I do to support African innovation? Start here. We're not talking about millions. We're talking about helping one visionary get a combing machine. And in doing so, unlocking thousands of new jobs across the continent if this is scaled.
What's your drive? What keeps you going?
I just want to make a difference. Something unique. And already I'm seeing it because a lot of people are amazed, especially when I wear this and I go out and they know that this is from plantain. Out there is more of banana they call, but by the time you say plantain or banana, how? So that uniqueness in it gives me joy. Just me and the team. It's not just me. It's a collective effort. And so we are all happy that we are making a difference in the society.
Yeah. But currently you guys have not started making money, or?
Not at all. Not at all, yes.
Okay. So how do you now pay the workers?
For now, sincerely, is support from friends.
Really?
Yes, for now. Because we have not really started making sales. Just family and friends.
And that, when an African does, it tells you all you need to know. The weight, the uncertainty, the quiet struggle of a visionary who's building something beautiful, but barely scraping to keep it going. And then she says, it's support from friends. Not investors, not banks, not governments, friends. That's how she's paying a 22-person team. That's how she's running a manufacturing process. That's how she's changing the game on the back of love, belief, and hustle. And when asked why she keeps going, her answer, I just want to make a difference, something unique. And already I'm seeing it. My people, this is purpose. This is what it looks like when the dream is real, even when the money isn't. She walks around wearing her product, a crown made from plantain fibers. And people stop her in shock. How? Plantain? That shock, that's the spark of innovation. And what's more beautiful is she doesn't take the credit alone. She says it's not just me, it's the team. It's a collective effort. That tells you everything you need to know about her leadership, about the culture she's building, about how transformation doesn't always start in a parliament or boardrooms. Sometimes it starts in a dusty workshop with 22 people, no revenue, and a whole lot of faith. So I want you to remember this moment, because when Dunali hair blows up, when you see it on shelves in Lagos, London, and LA, when Forbes comes calling, and I know it will, You remember that it didn't start with millions in seed capital. It started with a and a heartbeat.
Yes. Yes.
That's a lot. That's a lot you are
The
putting in.
really sales that I can say we have made is those who bought samples. Yes. 2 different persons have bought samples, and here in the US, they want to partner with us. They want to be distributors. So they are making arrangements for the packaging and all that.
Yeah.
So when we start making sales, that's why we are just managing to pay them a little so that that can cover for their transportation. Yes, so I can't really say we are paying. I appreciate all of them.
Yeah.
It's a sacrifice. They are all excited too to know that, because if they hear that the work is there, they come and they see what is happening, they are all excited. No, I want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So everybody here is making a sacrifice. I don't want to say we are paying. We are just giving them something to keep going. Yes, at the end of the month, just 20, 30, and they go home like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So now, if people make orders for this hair, can you supply? How many can you supply? Let's say people start calling in and want to buy. How many can you supply people?
That's why I say, because of the challenge of having that combing machine,
Okay.
we can't really supply much. The best we can make a day is 2 packs.
2 packs.
So 2 times 25 working days. That's
50
packs a month. That's the best we can.
Because of the machine?
Yes, but as I talked to you, like, this machine is fabricated locally.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yes, I did research on it and I gave it to my manager. He did his own research, and we met a fabricator in Lagos and we worked on it. So this machine is even our own product too. And then we are still working on the combing device with that same method. Yes, so it's not imported.
Okay, but at least you can supply a couple of these hairs to people who want.
Yes.
Whew. Let's not overlook the most powerful part. The combing machine is locally fabricated. You heard that right. They're not waiting for China. They're not waiting for the West. They're literally engineering their own solutions, piece by piece. While we, the world, our governments, while we fail to support her vision. So now I want to speak directly to you, Breakdown family. We always say support Black businesses. Believe in African innovation. Let's build our own. Well, this is that moment. We have a woman, a team, a prototype, a market, but no machine. And we know exactly what that machine would do. Take her from 2 packs a day to 20. Create more jobs. Lower the cost of production. Launch a sustainable Afrocentric brand into the global hair market. And all it takes, support. Our support. Now, I don't know how much that machine will cost, but I know any amount will go a long way towards making that vision a reality for Tare. So if you've ever bought a hair bundle, if you've ever said we need African solutions to African problems, if you've ever believed in the power of Black innovation and entrepreneurship, this is your moment. Because what Tare is building is not just a company. It's not just a brand. It's a blueprint for how African women, African youth, and African ideas can lead the next chapter of global innovation. So my call to you today is very simple. Share this story with your group chats and on socials. Help take Dunali Hair to the world. And if you're a distributor, investor, or entrepreneur watching this and see how you can add value to what she's doing, let's talk. Because Tare shouldn't have to walk this path alone. She's already done the hard part. Now it's on us to help her cross the bridge. Let's build this together. That's it for today's show. I'm Sandra Babu-Boateng. Thanks for watching. And until next time, take care. Hey you! Thanks so much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe and join the family. Also, Visit face2faceafrica.com for your daily news and updates on what's going on within the global Black community so you can stay informed.